Up next, we got to talk about Coachella, the big music festival that's happening right now, because this story perfectly sums up everything that's hilarious about the young generation. Billboard reports, as concert ticket prices soar, more than half of Coachella attendees are buying tickets through payment plans. Approximately 80,000 to 100,000 fans each weekend will have coughed up the $599 ticket price to see headliners Lady Gaga, Travis Scott, Green Day, and Post Malone, but ticket price is often just the cost of entry. Many of those fans will spend more than $1,000 per weekend on lodging and cough up hundreds of dollars more for food, drinks, and merchandise. It's a substantial spend for any of the 20-somethings in Coachella's target demographic. Festival organizers have increasingly helped finance their purchase through payment plan programs. Approximately 60% of general admission ticket buyers at this year's festival opted to use Coachella's payment plan system, which requires as little as $4.99 upfront for tickets to the annual concert. The Desert Festival isn't alone. Lollapalooza, Electric Daisy Carnival, and Rolling Loud all sell the majority of their tickets using some kind of payment plan system. So this is not great. I believe in freedom, and that includes the freedom to make bad decisions for yourself, which some of these young people are doing. But if you are well off, if you're comfortable, if you're making a high income, if you have cash to spare and you want to go spend a weekend in Coachella and enjoy the music festival and blow tons of money on super expensive housing, knock yourself out. It's probably not how I would spend my extra cash or my ideal vacation or trip, but great. Enjoy it. What you should probably not be doing, though, is going to Coachella if you need to take out a payment plan to pay $600. The math there is not mathing, babe. Like, somebody get Dave Ramsey on the phone, because the personal finance is not personally financing in this case. And there's like a $40 fee associated with this, so it's not even like a totally free, interest-free system. It's just not a decision you should be making if you're that tight on cash, right? To be prioritizing this or doing this. And if you want to make bad decisions, at the end of the day, like, it is your life. But the problem is that the same people, some of the same people using payment plans to go to Coachella will then demand that I pay their student loans via the government. Will demand that they need free healthcare at my expense. Now, obviously, like, just one Coachella ticket price or the payment fee or anything doesn't make up the gap there, but it's about the principle of the decisions and the personal responsibility, which increasingly in society is no longer in the room with us. Like, the era when people took accountability and responsibility for their own actions in their own lives is on the way out, tragically. I'm hoping to bring it back, one Delulu clap back at a time. But at the end of the day, we need to bring back a society where people are responsible for their own decisions and the consequences of them, where people actually have common sense and basic financial literacy. And if they want to play stupid games, we have to let them win stupid prizes. We can't come in and bail people out, or you can expect this generation to never really grow up and start making actual adult decisions. What do you guys think? Would you take a payment plan for Coachella? Let me know in the comments. Okay, up next, we've got this story featuring the police in the UK. And guys, this is dystopian. Take a listen to this footage of a police officer interviewing someone for a potential hate crime because of what he said.
You may have filmed some of this interaction with the mayor? No? Because if you do, that would be really handy for us. But apparently during some conversations between yourself, apparently you have alleged, we weren't here, so I don't know you said it, but you've alleged to say, speak English? Or was that effect?
Speak clearly.
Speak clearly.
No,
okay.
The gentleman's partially deaf.
Yeah, he can speak clearly.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even hear him.
No, and that's fine, and that's why we've just come to speak, because potentially someone could perceive that as a hate crime.
Did we just know this was going to happen?
No, I know.
People, you know, if someone says to me, officer, I believe this, then we need to look at it, because someone's potentially reporting to me.
What in the woke did we just witness? The police officers rolling up on this man because somebody reported an alleged hate crime because of him asking them to speak English or speak clearly, is what he says he said. But even if he said speak English, that is not a hate crime. That is a request, and a reasonable one when you are in England. And if you really don't want to do it, you can say, no, I don't want to speak English, and walk away and not talk to this person. But you have not been hate crimed, and you are absolutely wild if you think you have been. Now, I understand that in this case, this officer is just doing his job and just following the rules of the law, following up on this report. And apparently, from the social media chatter, the guy here was deaf, so he was asking him to be clear, the person he was speaking with. He wasn't trying to be racist. But even if he was, that is not a crime. It's just speech. It's just words that maybe it hurt your fifis, but newsflash, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words cannot. We used to teach this to toddlers, but now apparently it is lost on entire societies of adult humans. Where is the thick skin? Where is the resilience? Where is the internal sense of confidence that someone else being slightly rude to you or saying something slightly upsetting doesn't derail you to the point where you call the police? That's the problem here. And also, guys, it's not just this one situation. It's not just one anecdote, one viral video. Let's say this video is missing context, or there's something wrong with it, or if actually nothing bad happened. This happens thousands of times in the United Kingdom because they have become so anti-free speech and so dystopian. And you don't have to take my word for it. Here's reporting from The Times. Police make 30 arrests a day for offensive online messages in the UK. Civil liberties groups say that the authorities are over-policing the internet and threatening free speech using vague laws. Thousands of people are being detained and questioned for sending messages that cause annoyance, inconvenience, or anxiety to others via the internet, telephone, or mail. Custody data obtained by The Times show that officers are making about 12,000 arrests a year under Section 127 of the Communications Act 2003 and Section 1 of the Malicious Communications Act 1988. The acts make it illegal to cause distress by sending grossly offensive messages or sharing content of an indecent, obscene, or menacing character on an electronic communications network. Officers from 37 police forces made 12,183 arrests in 2023, the equivalent of about 33 per day. This marks an almost 58% rise in arrests since before the pandemic. In 2019, forces logged 7,734 detentions. So this is dystopian. This is genuine censorship by the state in the UK, arresting and detaining and charging people because they hurt other people's fifis on the internet. And guys, the reason I bring this up is not because I'm particularly invested in the state of UK politics, though of course I support free speech for everyone in the whole world. However, it's because the UK and England are very culturally and politically similar to the United States. There are many differences, but there's one big difference. They don't have a First Amendment. They don't have a strong constitutional protection like we do that prevents this kind of thing from ever happening at scale, because laws of this sort would be struck down in the courts in America. But right now, we have pushes on the left and the right to chip away at the First Amendment in many different ways across many different fields, and all of them are a huge mistake, because each time you chip away at it, if you're successful, you take us a little bit closer to this kind of dystopian place where people are getting rounded up for their social media posts by the police. Let me know what you guys think, especially the Brits in my audience. I know there's quite a few of you. All right, everybody, that'll be it for this episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please do make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet, or do consider hitting that like button before you go. Thanks again to Opus Clip for sponsoring today's video, and we'll talk again real soon.